Hello and welcome to a benchmark for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. A SLI benchmark because this game is kind of a hug. Let me tell you. So, we want to see the game maxed out. So let's go to graphics and ultra. First of all, you have presets, right? So we'll go from low and we'll go backwards. So ultra high. Right, if you take a look in the top right hand corner, you have a memory prerequisite which requires that you have 8.3 gig of VRAM. Oh my god. Well, I was also led to believe that SLI does not stack VRAM. So while I do have two cards, each one of them only has 4 gigs, so essentially I only have 4. To max this on Ultra, you need 8.3. However, the game is saying to me that I do have 7.919, which essentially is 8, but there you go. But if you want to max this game out, and you have two 980s, you can't do it. That's right, you heard me. Okay, so let's see what we have. So, what I did was turn this off. Turn AA off. I can leave everything else on. I can leave the environment quality on, the texture quality on, the shadow quality on, and the ambient occlusion on. And just turn anti-aliasing off, which requires that I have 7.5 gig of video RAM. So let's apply that and see what it's like in game, shall we? Continue. Now, don't let the frame counter here fool you, where it's saying, oh, 120, 130. This is the loading screen. The game will be nowhere near that. In fact, if we get anywhere close to 60, we're doing really well. Indoors. This game is not optimized at all. It's better than when Unity came out on day one. Oh yes, look how bad. Look how bad. The frame rate is so low, and this is with AA off. Okay, so the reflections look nice, the textures look... They don't look amazing, but they do look nice. And the frame rate is anywhere between 30 and 50 something, but averaging around the 30 mark. Indoors, as you can see, it's using 4 gig of RAM on each card, which I guess they're maxed out. Yeah, unbelievable. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a look around. So we're not getting anywhere near 60, we're getting like... It's actually really inconsistent. It's... At some place, like it's 60 there, while the lighting's low. But yet when you get up here, it's down to 28. Performance of this game is just fucking awful at the moment. Really, really awful. So let's see if there's anything we can do to change that. So, graphics. So we have, oh that's custom, right? Ultra. This doesn't go any higher, but it does require like a whole gig if you put the textures to low. But we don't want to do that. So 0.928 is if you kind of high textures. Shadow quality. Again, you want that on high. But if you turn it lower, turn it to high, requires a gig less, but you want it on ultra. Ambient occlusion, the same. You could probably lose this, but as you can see, it doesn't really have that much of an impact at all on memory. So we'll just leave that on max, and this is where the major impact does come from. So, what happens if you bounce this down? Well, if I was to set this to recommended, which I'm not going to do right now, it actually sets it to this, which requires 6.1, which is probably where I should be playing it. It recommends it to that, which is ridiculous that a 980, two 980s can't max this game out. However, I would be happy to accept that today's games are pushing last year's cards if it looked any better than last year's game. But it doesn't. Are you seriously telling me that this looks better than Unity? Because I don't think it does. I think it looks good. but I don't think it looks better than Unity at all, and it certainly doesn't run better. Okay, so let's get down, because this frame rate is unplayable for me. I cannot play 40 frames per second is probably the lowest that I like to play at. Okay, so we're down to 30, so this is like playing on Xbox at the minute. And without the AI, look at the buildings, they look horrible. So let's see what it looks like if you want to just fuck it, you want to just go for broke. And you want to put it on. Okay, the building looks better. The frame rate doesn't actually seem to have changed much. Oh, we even got 16 frames per second then. See if it changes when we go inside. Yeah.
I don't eat or drink, I just need some physics.
So, you tell me, does this game look better than Unity? Are developers spending less time on optimization? Are they using too high res textures? Truthfully, I don't think the answer to that question is yes. I think basically they have to sell graphics cards, and in order to do that, their games will require more system specifications, because this does not look better than last year's game, but it's pushing last year's cards. Sad, isn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is bounce it down to recommended. Set recommended settings, yes. Okay, warning, it'll change. Okay, so we'll restart later, but pretty much that's what it's done. It's bounced us down to very high. It's saying that we need at least a gig, possibly 2 gig as virtual, just in reserve, which makes sense, but still, this game requires to be run on very high, not ultra, very high, 6 gig of RAM, and all of this. So, if you want to run it on very high anti-aliasing off, that requires 5.8. Let's apply that. Okay, so that's how you can get 60. By running it on very high with AA off. And even still, I require a restart really in order to get the performance up. But as you can see, performance has changed, and it doesn't really look that much. You can tell the difference, obviously, but there's no way. And I think this does run smoother than Unity, but it doesn't look any better. Absolutely not. I don't think the lighting or the textures look better at all, and it's a shame. But this is day one. Hopefully they will patch it and we'll see some improvement. But for now, you're going to need one hell of a system to max this out and get ultra settings. So good luck to everybody. I'm going to be playing it on very high instead of ultra after spending £1,000 on graphics cards. On this part of my stream, I'll see you soon.